Hello, my name is Michael, and I'm the CEO of PortfolioMeta, and I'm going to walk you through what we have to offer so far. So this is our portfolio page, and on this page you can see everything that you own across all of your different accounts, as well as detailed breakdown of several different aspects of your holdings. So starting from the top, this is the combined worth of your all of your different accounts. This is the net change today, and this is the net dollar change today. And as you see right now, it's showing all of your accounts in one page. But you can also go to specific ones. So, for example, if you have a TD Ameritrade or Robinhood or a retirement 401k or IRA, you can connect each one of those to Portfolio Meta and see them all together or see them one at a time. So, for example, I'll go to my TD Ameritrade, and now it's just showing my TD Ameritrade holdings. So, going back to the all accounts view, I'll walk you through some of the other features. So, this is a table showing all of your holdings. It's nice and paginated. You can sort by any of the values in it. You click on a row, and a drop down appears of a detailed breakdown of your position history. So right now it shows your current profit and loss, your potential profit and loss, so how much money you could have made so far, max drawdown, cost per share, the best day, worst day since you've started the position, the 1 year beta of the security, average day change while you've held this position, standard deviation, how many days that it's been profitable, the length of the trade so far, the PE ratio of the underlying company, and the performance of the market relative to this position since you started the position. So this position is underperforming the market because the S&P 500 has increased by 2.72% during this time, while this position has only increased by 1.54%. And over here is a nice interactive chart. The time window is scrollable and adjustable. You can also adjust the size of the window. It has several markings already on there. So this is your entry price. This is the lowest price it's been since you've held it. And this is the highest it's been since you've held this position. This is your entry. And then right here, it shows all the recent news for the stock as well, with positive, negative, and neutral rankings as well. And right here is just a nice visual representation of the sentiment around the stock in the news recently. And you can have multiple open at one time. And it's just a great, easy way to keep track of what you own. And you don't even need to leave the page to see a chart or to see news on it. It's all right here on one page. Then you can also add notes to each position. Thesis, notes. You can add tags to it so you can filter based off of tags. And you can set a price target and a stop loss. All right, so moving on to down here. Right here, it shows today's movers. So basically, it shows all the stocks in your portfolio or cryptocurrencies or ETFs or options that are outliers today that have been moving a lot today based on how much it usually moves every day. Based on several different averages, the 10-day average, the 30-day average, and the 180-day average. So Intel's having a good day today, very volatile compared to its historical averages. And then over here, it's similar, but this shows multi-day movers. So this is a great way to keep track of what all of your positions are doing on a week-by-week or day-by-day basis. So, for example, right here it says that Sundial is up 20.31% in the last 5 days, and the median is only 7.76%. So that might be something to keep an eye on. And it looks at 5, 10, and 30-day periods for each of your positions. And then down here is a in-depth breakdown of what you own in your portfolio. So it not only shows your net profit for today in total, but it also breaks it down between profits and losses. So you can actually see how much you're making and how much you're losing. Over here, it shows the peak value and low value of your portfolio today, the win-loss ratio today, average change, average PE ratio of your portfolio, Then over here are some total stats, so how much stocks you own, what cash, options, your total assets, and your portfolio beta. And then over here, this feature is one of my favorites. It basically reads the charts for you and keeps and notifies you if anything notable is happening in them. So, for example, this one right here says that the 10-day exponential moving average crossed the 50-day exponential moving average, and it's positive. And so all you need to do is click on the row, and the chart pops up with the technical indicators plotted, and as you can see, it's crossing over right there. So a lot of traders rely solely on technical indicators and stuff like that. So this is a really useful feature for them. And it also looks for things like 52 week highs, breaking support, breaking resistance. If you set a price target or a stop loss up here in the notes, it'll show up down here if you're approaching it. So earlier today, this was telling me that Intel was approaching its price target, and now it's hit its price target. So moving on from there, this is a detailed diversification breakdown of all of your accounts, because remember, this page is showing all of your accounts in one place. So it breaks down by sector, not only the weight of the sector in your portfolio, but also how well you're doing in that sector, the current gain or loss in that sector. And as you can see, cryptocurrency is included in that too if you own cryptocurrency. And then over here is a breakdown based off of market capitalization, so how big the companies are. Breaks it down between large, mid, small cap, micro, and similarly, it also shows you how well you're doing in those sectors. And then this is just a donut chart visually showing your diversification. Moving on from that, we have our correlated positions feature. So assets diversification tells you a lot, but it doesn't tell you the whole picture, because you could have hidden correlations in your portfolio even if things are outside in separate sectors or asset classes. So down here addresses that issue and gives you a list of all of the correlations within your portfolio that are significant, that are relevant. And it shows you the 1 year correlation coefficient as well as a 6 months correlation coefficient, so you can get a good idea of how strong that relationship has been recently compared to historically. Then over here is a curated news list for all of your assets, as well with positive, negative, and neutral rankings as well. All right, I think that's it for this page. Now we'll move on to the trade history page. So this page shows you a detailed breakdown of your trading history and investment history. So in this table right here is all of your past transactions across all of your accounts. You can filter it just to see trades that have been closed, and you can click on each one to get a detailed breakdown of that trade. Similarly, it has a lot of things as your current positions have, but as well as some different things. Then it has the entry and exit point plotted on the chart, so you can go back in time and actually look at the trade, how it was in the chart to see what happened. And down here, it shows you news during the trade, so you can go back in time and remind yourself of what was going on. You can inspect or criticize or analyze your decision-making process. Maybe you should have sold. Maybe you should have done some sort of action, but you didn't. So this is just a detailed history that's there for you to reference and look at. And then this is a donut chart showing the sentiment around the stock during the course of that trade. And then similarly, you can add notes to each one, thesis, notes, lessons learned, things like that. And you can do that for every single one, all on one page. Don't have to leave it. All right, so continuing where I left off, this box right here shows you your win-loss ratio for all of your trades, just for longs or just for shorts, as well as the percent profitability for all those categories. Over here, it shows you your average trade returns for all of your trades, wins only, losses, options, and it shows you the percent return and the dollar return. And over here it shows you your average trade length in days. So it shows you the average length for all of your trades, wins, loses, long, shorts, options. So using this, you can look at it and learn a lot about your style of trading or what works, what doesn't. Maybe you hold on to your losing positions a little too long and you got to work on that. And then down here, it shows you your trade ranking, so your top 3 trades ever and your worst 3 trades ever. Over here is a scatter plot that consists of all of your trades all time, or just the past year, my bad. We will add date filters as well. But for now, it's just showing in the past year. And this is a great little feature. You can learn a lot by looking at this. It's a good visual representation of your trading history. You can see when you were most active, when you were making a lot of money, maybe when you slumped, you were doing a lot of questionable things. So, yeah, you can learn a lot by visually looking at your trading history. And down here it shows you what stocks you have made the most money on and what stocks you have lost the most money on. And over here is just a bar chart showing you your 1 year realized profits broken down by month, your total returns, and your year-to-date returns as well. And this table can be searched as well. So if you're just looking for a particular ticker, you just search for it, and it's really easy to find. All right, on to the next feature now. This is probably my favorite one, and it's our newest one. I just finished it up. So this page right here allows you to quickly and very easily test any idea that you have. So strategy idea, trading idea, or maybe you just want to ask a simple question like, what does Apple usually do after it splits? Or say earnings are coming up for a company, you can use it to look at, see what usually happens if the company misses on earnings, but the week before they released earnings, they were hit pretty hard in regards to price. So there's multiple different options you can choose based on technical indicators, volume, price action, earnings split, inflation rate, so you can see how a stock does and while inflation is around a certain number, and then how there's also market conditions as well. So what you do is you create a condition. So we'll create a new price action condition. So let's say a 5-day max, and then it shows up right there. Then we'll add another one. Let's say the day price change is greater than 1%, and we'll add a technical indicator as well. So we'll add, let's say, the 10-day simple moving average is greater than the 20-day simple moving average. And right here, you just put in what stocks you want to test it on. So we'll do American Airlines, Palantir, and Lucid. And then over here for exit conditions, there's lots of different options. You'll also be able to add the same conditions that you did over here as exit conditions as well. But for right now, it's just these. So we'll put a stop loss at 3%, a profit target of 10%, and we'll run the test. And the total results display here. So we show a lot of different things, the number of trades. So basically all of these conditions have to be true in order to enter into trades, like buy the stock. And in the future, we'll add shorts and options and other cool things like that. But down here, we show the number of trades, the win percentage, win-loss ratio, the average return on each of those trades, the standard deviation, average profit. So how much profit was made when there was a profit, and how bad the losses were as well. And then max profit, max loss, and as well as average trade length. And over here, it shows results per stock that you inputted. All right, one last thing to show here is our quotes page. So we just search Palantir in the text in the search bar, and this is a quote page. So this is a nice little chart for you. very interactive, very customizable, very powerful. You can scroll the window, adjust the size of it. There's shortcuts down here. There's pretty much every single type of chart that you can imagine that we support. So let's say candlestick. You can add drawings to it. So let's say add that, and there's a bunch of different types. And you can also add over 30 technical indicators as well. And you click on one and you can customize the period and how you want it to show up in the chart. And we also include a just helpful description, parameters, and a usage guide. So even if you don't really know how to use it, this will tell you how to use it. And even if you do, it's a good refresher. We'll add the indicator, and there you go. And you can add multiple at once too. Reset that. And you can also enter a custom date range down here, which is a pretty useful feature. All right, so right here is a quick summary of the stock price, how it's been doing in the last 5, 10, 30, 90, 180, and 1 year period. So you can see it all at a glance. You don't need to mess around with the chart or anything. And right here is the summary stats for it. So beta, day range, 52-week range, industry, things like that, analyst rating. And then over here, it shows you recent technical indicator events for that stock. So across the 100-day simple moving average, across the 200-day, about a month ago. And down here, it's just a very concise and compact fundamentals area. So we show valuation stats right here and operation stats over here. And then over here is a nice compact news for that stock going back several months with negative, neutral, and positive rankings. And over here, it shows you the news sentiment around the stock in the last 30 days and the previous 30 days before that. So you can compare the sentiment around it in the last 30 days compared to the month before that. So as you can see here, it looks like the positive sentiment around Palantir hasn't been doing so hot in the last month compared to the month before that. And down here we have some statistical insights based for Palantir. So Palantir closed above its opening price 66% of the time that SPY does. Palantir closes below its opening price 80% of the time that SPY does. And that's based off the last 60 days. Palantir SPY correlation, the 1 year and 5 years. Doesn't have a 5-year one yet. Here is it shows intraday statistics, so you can see when a stock usually hits its high or low during the day. That's based on the last 30 days. Here are some gap up and gap down statistics. So a lot of traders trade the gap, like opening gap. So if a stock opens way higher than it was the day before, a lot of people will use that as an opportunity to start a trade. So this shows how likely it is for that gap to be covered in the same day, the average size of the gap, etc. And that does the same thing for gap downs. And then right here, it shows you the median 5-day change, the median 10-day change, the median 30-day change. So you can wrap your head around how volatile the stock usually is. And then down here is a detailed earnings history. And we also show the 1-day change after the announced earnings, the 10-day change after they announced earnings, and the 5-day change prior to them announced earnings, which is really useful when it comes down to earnings season. And down here we show some stats, average change after earnings beat, average change after earnings miss, and then basic analyst ratings over here, and description of the company down here. And you can also change the chart to logarithmic instead. If I didn't mention this before, we support stocks, options, cryptocurrencies, and ETFs, and we use Plaid to integrate brokerage accounts.